Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We'll get started in just a moment, but while we're waiting on a few more to join, if you can find the question chat area within our webinar panel, I'd love to know who we have on the call. So if you can type your name and let us know the school that you're representing. It's always great to see who we have on the call. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started in just a moment. While we're waiting on a few to join, feel free to type in the questions area your name and the school that you are representing. Awesome. Great to see everyone. Awesome. Okay, we've got some grammar schools, some high schools. Awesome. And how about your role? You can also let us know what your role at the school is, and that can be helpful too as we move forward through today's conversation. I can make sure I tailor some of the content to some of the specific roles that are here. All right, cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you. Feel free to continue to let me know the roles that you have within the schools and the schools that you're representing in the chat. I'll make sure I keep an eye on that as we proceed. But again, thank you and welcome to our webinar, Maximizing Enrollment, Tackling the Top Challenges in Education Marketing. If this is your first time joining us on a webinar with LOCALiQ, welcome. LOCALiQ is a multi-channel digital marketing agency with a track record in delivering successful bespoke marketing campaigns for schools, sixth forms, colleges, and universities. We specialize in SEO, search engine optimization, PPC, paid social, paid search, display advertising, website design, and so much more. We're a part of the NewsQuest Media Group, which is more than 200 trusted local news brands across the UK. So chances are you have a local publication in your area that's published by NewsQuest Media Group. And so when schools work with us, not only do they get the reach and expertise of our digital marketing experts, they also get the reach of our local news network as well. So let's talk about what we're here today to go over, which is the challenge areas. And so I want to talk to you about how this whole webinar came about. Just a few weeks ago, LOCALiQ, together with AMCIS, the Association for Professionals who work in the admissions, marketing, and communications area of independent schools, we conducted a survey and nearly 100 school admissions and marketing professionals responded, and we saw a common theme in some of the challenges that everyone was experiencing. Managing workload. There's always something that needs to be done. Someone who wants something from us as marketers, balancing budget and time. There are so many things that need to be done that could get done, but not only does there never seem to be enough time or hours in the day, there's also never enough funding in the budget either. Competition, broadly, we all offer the same service as schools in education, but we still need to stand out and demonstrate the unique way we can make a difference in the lives of the peoples who walk through the doors every day. And the list goes on, managing expectations, balancing customer service with academic standards, reaching prospective families, and even 7 external factors. For example, declining birth rates. Yes, those are things that impact our schools and our jobs, and it's something that we have to think about and consider. So these are the 7 challenge areas, but today we're only going to go and dive into 3 focus areas. We'll go we have 3 sections: reaching prospective families, balancing budget and time, and balancing customer service with academic standards. And so in each of these, I'm going to offer you tips and strategies to help you hopefully solve some of these areas, and to think about what you can do in these areas the digital marketing way. So thinking about it through the lens of digital marketing. My name is Brandon Griffin. I'm head of B2B marketing here at LOCALiQ, and I'll be your guide through today's session. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the questions chat area, just right there where you all make the introductions. I have a few colleagues who are online, and they'll be helping to answer some of those questions live for you. And we'll even have a Q&A section at the end if we have time. But if you do have a question that we aren't able to answer, we'll make sure that we respond with the answer quickly after our webinar. And then one other thing to note as well, the webinar is being recorded, and everyone will receive the PowerPoint slides and the webinar recording tomorrow. So don't feel rushed to take notes for every slide. All right, great. So let's dive in. And this is our first section of 3 sections today, reaching prospective families. So this section is for you if reaching new families and communicating the value that's added by the school within a limited marketing budget is a challenge for you. And even if just staying on top of all the different ways of communicating with parents and knowing what to do and what not to do is a challenge. So if you've got some challenges in this area, then this section is for you. The first thing that I want to talk about is getting to know your audience. Understanding your target audience really helps you tailor your message and choose the most effective channels for reaching them. So the tip here is to conduct market research so that you can identify all the demographics, the preferences, and the needs of prospective families. So think about how many different target audience segments you serve or you wish to reach, because most schools have more than one. And then I would encourage you to use the following framework and templates to build out your audience personas. You don't have to consider everything here, but you should try to use as many as possible to really narrow down who you should be creating marketing content for and appealing to, both online and offline. Okay, so demographic data, the age of the pupils that you serve, the age of their parents, the income levels, where their parents work, behaviors of the students, different interests that they have, and challenges. If you can find out, or the more information you can find out about these things, the better you can tailor your messaging to get their attention. And then also when you get this slide, you can click here and download this free buyer persona template that we have, and it'll help make that whole process a little bit easier. The next section in this reaching prospective families, the point that I want to talk about is leveraging digital marketing channels. So you may all be familiar with that. We can utilize social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to engage with prospective families and share that compelling content that showcases your school's strengths. But a few things to consider here. I want to talk about SEO, search engine optimization, because when a parent or a student is searching for a school like yours on Google, Yahoo, or Bing, those search engines, you want to try to show up on the first page if possible of those search results, and you want to compete for those enrollments, right? So families have a lot of educational choices, and you want to be where those people are searching for at the exact moment they're thinking about it. And in order to do that, it rarely happens by accident. So SEO, search engine optimization, is the process of doing the right things on your school's website, as well as off of your school's website too, because there's on and off page techniques and tactics that you can implement that will allow search engines to decide whether or not your school, your website is the best to show up for the people who are searching. And so next question you probably have is, how do I make my school rank on search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo? Well, search engine optimization can get very technical, and sometimes it probably feels like you need a degree to implement. But even if you're just focusing on a few basic tactics, and having a solid grasp on like the fundamentals can really help improve your school's ranking. So it's a lot there, but if you feel like you need help with your school's SEO strategy, just type a message in the chat and we'll make sure we get in touch. The other area is paid search. To talk about that, this is another way to come up on search engines, and sometimes it can provide you with even more immediate results because you're paying per click to help increase your rankings. And so here are the things I'd like to stress is, don't just create 4 text ads and forget about your text campaign and leave the campaign to run by itself. You really want to experiment with different organic messaging in that PPC campaign, and things that you learn about the students, the families, and their whole journey to your school, things that you learn about that, you want to incorporate that into your messaging so that when your text ads show up in these search engines, the messaging resonates with the families and they actually convert. So want to suggest that for your paid search strategy. And then a few things to think outside of the box. Earlier we talked about that target audience and defining that target audience and even considering their places of employment, especially for those parents. A social media channel that perhaps is not the first on your mind to pursue as a school could be LinkedIn. But I want to encourage you, if your students have parents who are working parents, LinkedIn could be one that you should have a strategy for, so that way you can get in front of those parents who are professionals. And then TikTok is another rising social media channel. There's been a lot of conversation around this channel, and it's not just a channel for dancing videos, but that channel could actually be used to creatively communicate what makes your school different and get in front of those pupils and give them the information that's going to help them inform their decision as to why they would want to come to your school. So that's leveraging some digital marketing channels. The next section in terms of reaching prospective families and how we're going to tackle that challenge the digital marketing way, I want to encourage you to optimize your website for conversions. There are several strategies and tactics that can be implemented. They're listed here, but just to call out a few, you want to make sure you have clear calls to action, place prominent, visually appealing CTAs on relevant pages throughout the website. You want to use action-oriented language and design elements to guide visitors and families toward the desired actions, such as filling out an inquiry form or scheduling a tour or downloading a prospectus. Also, when you're thinking about your CTAs, think about the season of the year it is and how busy your frontline and your office staff might be. If it's a really busy time of the year, you might want to encourage people to use the inquiry forms on your website instead of calling, right? Because when they call, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, you want to make sure that you're able to give them that attention. Or if there are some things that you can automate, we'll talk about that too, like allowing them to schedule a tour online without even having to interact with your front office. That's great. You want to do those types of things and think about that as you're directing people on your website. Things like the page load and how quickly your website loads in terms of speed. You want to try to improve that load speed so that it'll prevent visitors from abandoning the site. Doing things like compressing images or minimizing the scripts and the programs that you have on your website. All of those things can really help make sure that your website loads very quickly, and it'll help deter people from wanting to leave your website because it takes forever to load. I think we've all been there. One other thing to consider is retargeting and remarketing. This is a really big one because sometimes schools and marketers will say, well, the marketing campaigns aren't working because people are coming to my website, but they aren't completing the forms or they aren't calling us. and they leave. But that's not the end of it. You have an opportunity to retarget and remarket to them as well. And that is making sure that we push digital ads and other tactics to individuals who have come to the website and have shown interest, but maybe they didn't take that action to convert. So here at LOCALiQ, we work with schools to create targeted digital marketing ads with personalized content, so that way schools have a better opportunity to re-engage those individuals and encourage them to come back to the school's website and take that action that you want them to take. Again, when you get this slide deck, you'll have an opportunity to click on this on-demand webinar we did just a few weeks ago, and I go into more depth about the common website mistakes that businesses and schools make and how you can avoid them. The fourth area of reaching prospective families that I want to talk about is cultivating word of mouth. Word of mouth is still probably the strongest player in marketing and advertising. It just looks different in this age of the internet. So here, this is where you want to encourage parents, students, alumni to be brand advocates and really share that positive experiences that they've had with your institution with others. You might even be able to implement referral programs or other incentives to incentivize that word of mouth marketing. And just to call out a few things here, encourage online reviews, actively encouraging parents, students, and alumni to leave reviews on popular review platforms like your Google business profile or Facebook, or even the dedicated school review websites. There are a few out there. Positive reviews can significantly impact prospective families' decisions and even generate more positive word of mouth conversation. I mentioned Google business profiles, and so when you get this slide, you can click here to read more about that and how to make sure that your Google business profile for your school is optimized. And a few other things to call out here: facilitate user-generated content. That's really big because even search engines like Google are starting to take into account how much social content is out there that mentions your school when they think about how you rank in those search results. So encouraging all those stakeholders, parents, students, alumni, to share content related to their experience with your school, making sure that they mention you at you on Instagram, Twitter, as they're sharing those photos, videos, or blog posts. That can be really helpful in boosting your presence in those social channels and search engines. And then last one I'll mention here, cultivating online communities. Facebook has private Facebook groups, and there are other forums. You want to utilize those as well, because you can create those spaces that are safe, where parents, students, and others can connect, share their experiences, provide recommendations. And you want to make sure you identify people on your team to actively participate in those communities and engage in those conversations. And if any concerns or questions are raised, make sure you address them and don't let them go ignored. So those are just 4 different ways thinking through that digital marketing lens. Hopefully will help give you some relief in that challenge of reaching prospective families. This next section, this is our second section. We've got 3 sections today. This next section is talking about what are some tips that we can do or implement when we're trying to balance the budget, get more with less time, and get more with less funding, especially financially, if that's a concern. And so if you've got concern in those areas, this section is for you. 3 topics that I want to talk about here. I want to talk about the importance of prioritizing and setting clear goals. Here you want to identify the marketing initiatives that have the highest potential impact on the goal and priority that your school is focused on. And then you want to build activities around that. It's so easy to just come up with a list of everything that we can do and then start doing it. But you really want to take a step back and think about what are our priorities, what are our goals, and then build your plan. And then you want to allocate a significant portion of that limited budget that you have and time to those high priority initiatives and ensure maximum effectiveness on those things. And then you can identify secondary categories if you have bandwidth and resource. And so here on the screen, you just have several digital marketing strategies. You just have several priorities that schools typically have, from increasing enrollment, enhancing brand awareness, promoting academic excellence. Sometimes we need to strengthen the community engagement or drive parent satisfaction, optimizing the digital presence, or enhancing partnerships and collaborations that we have. Those are typically all priorities that schools have. But one other thing that I want to offer you is a very helpful framework to consider, and that is the value versus effort framework here. And so it's one of the most straightforward frameworks to start with, because it has a 2x2 priority matrix that shows ideas on 2 axes based off of value and then effort here. And so just to give you some highlights, we have, the quick wins. These are things that are high value and low effort. High value and low effort, those are quick wins. These are ideas that are quick to accomplish. They resonate with value, and it would take minimal effort, so fewer stakeholders or a little time to complete. You have the category that's called the big bets, and these are the high value and high effort. These ideas take a lot of time, but they're worth the effort of you pouring energy into them, because they can give you even greater rewards for the risks that are involved. So those are the big bets, but you don't want to spend all of your time there. And then the lower end of the quadrants that we have here would be the backups, the things that require low effort and offer low value. These are things that are often worth doing simply because they're low investment, but they also are the ones that are in low value. So you may not want to spend as much time there. And then you want to try to avoid what they call in this category the time sinkers. These are things that are low value and require high effort. These are considered to be the areas where it can drain your funding because you won't get a lot of reward, and it takes a lot of effort. So think about your priorities in this category and put them into this framework and ask yourself, is it something that's going to be give me that high value, low effort type impact? So I hope that helps. Next, I want to talk about, just very quickly, some tools that can help you manage your time, help you manage your priorities. Just to call out a couple here, Trello is a very popular project management tool that allows you to create boards, lists, and cards to organize and prioritize tasks. You can assign due dates, add descriptions, attach files, and collaborate with team members. We use that here within our content marketing team here at LOCALiQ, and it's really great to help us visually see all of the marketing projects that our team is working on. Google Calendar could be an obvious one, but believe it or not, a lot of people may not fully utilize it. So definitely do that. Set reminders, create recurring events, share your calendar with team members. And then the final one that I'll call out here is Evernote. It's a note-taking app that allows you to create, allows you to capture your ideas, organize meeting notes, and other important information. It allows you to create notebooks. You can even sync it across multiple devices. So I love that, because it's like I have my notebook even when I'm on my walk, and I can just take notes on my phone. And then when I come back to my computer, I see the same thing there. So it syncs. So these are just some tools to help you manage your time, set priorities. I hope you find that helpful. And the next section here, I want to talk about marketing automation in education. There's a lot of conversation right now that talks about AI and just automation in general. And marketing automation really is a key to helping schools and businesses keep up and get ahead of the competition. But for many, knowing where to start is the difficult step. And so these are just like 3 case examples of ways you can utilize automation in education, whether you're aiming to increase conversions, keep students engaged, or re-engage those who've completed courses. Engagement levels are really critical to schools, but keeping students engaged with their learning is also a challenge. And life gets in the way, interest levels change, communications get missed, and all of that raises the significant challenge of offering a seamless customer journey for the students. And so, the solution is, with all those different varying requirements in education and learning, it's essential that every communication sent is relevant, it's tailored, it's personalized to maintain engagement. And so really the key to success here is automation, because with access to the right data, schools can automate that right message at the right time via the right channel to the right student, the right pupil, or the family and parent. And so once you have your automation set up, the options for engagement are vast. And so you can optimize send times, personalization, you can create dynamic content within those communications. It makes it really easy. If you want to get started in that, one platform that we even use here at LOCALiQ is called HubSpot. HubSpot is a marketing automation platform that offers a range of tools to automate those marketing tasks, such as like email campaigns, lead nurturing, or just even managing those relationships that we have with those students, with their families. And it really can streamline and track all of your marketing activities in one place. So HubSpot, I think, would definitely be worth the investment. And there are other platforms too, but that's what we use here at LOCALiQ, and it really works well to allow us to send personalized communications to our different audiences. And then the other area, if you aren't using a platform like Hootsuite, that can be very, very helpful, especially as your school invests into different social media channels. You may have multiple accounts. You may have some social media channels that are geared towards students or pupils. You may have some social media channels that are geared towards family or alumni. And so before you know it, you'll have about 20 social media channels and profiles. It can be a bit much to manage, but if you utilize a platform like Hootsuite, it can bring all of that management into one space. So that is what I wanted to share there. And then in this next section, we're talking about how you can leverage digital marketing analytics and insights. And social media platforms, they allow you to define that specific audience, that specific demographic group that you are trying to reach. And then you can utilize analytic tools like Google Analytics or other insights to measure that effectiveness of all of your marketing efforts. And so you want to track those key metrics like website traffic, conversion rates, and other engagement levels so that you can identify what's working and what's not working. Just some things here. Google Analytics has an update coming up soon, so you want to make sure that your website is using GA4 because the older universal Google Analytics is going to be discontinued soon. And so you want to make sure that you've conducted that switch before it happens. If there are any reports that you have been relying on in Universal Analytics, you want to make sure that you pull down into the historical data and insights, because again, once GA Universal version goes away, you're going to lose access to all of that, and you want to build up those same reports in new GA4. It's a lot there, but there's an on-demand webinar where we go into more depth about how you can make sure that your school's website is transitioning to GA4. If you haven't done that, I encourage you to check out that resource. Websites like hotjar.com allows you to, it's great for heat mapping, and you can see which areas of your website people are spending the most time on or engaging with the most, so that way you can make some optimizations in that area. And then even we have something called the LOCALiQ Client Center. You can go to our website and view it, or you can click this link when you get the PowerPoint and see how we provide a single dashboard to view all aspects of your marketing in one spot. Our marketers in education love the comprehensive and easy to use reporting feature. Right before you go into a meeting, you can come into the Client Center, print out a report that has visuals. It's easy to understand. You can take that right into the meeting and speak to your upline and stakeholders about how your campaigns are performing. It's a really good tool to dive into. All right, so this is the third and final section of our presentation today. And this challenge area is talking about balancing customer service with academic standards. I mean, we all have the seats to fill within our schools, but we want to maintain that good academic standards that's essential to our school. And we also want to provide high quality customer service, but you want to make sure that you're also able to offer it in a scalable, manageable way. So that's what we're going to talk about in this section. And I've got just 3 things that I want to offer you some strategies there. One of the big challenges we hear all the time is that from marketers in education is that there's this feeling of, well, the academic staff don't fully understand what we're trying to do. They don't understand that if they don't give us the information that we need about the courses, about the open days, and if we don't have it in the amount of time that we need it within, we can effectively do our job to get the word out there to help get the information into the students and the families' hands to get them enrolled. And so there's always like a push and pull between the marketing staff and the academic staff. So the solution here is to try to engage the broader staff of your school in as much of your digital marketing strategy as you possibly can. Some easy wins and some things you can do is encouraging staff to create social media profiles, encourage staff members to create profiles on LinkedIn and Twitter, because it really allows them to showcase their expertise, share relevant content, and engage with the school community. You can offer behind the scenes content, glimpses of teachers and staff members in action at your school. Capture those moments in the classroom where the teachers are teaching, capture those extracurricular activities that are taking place, and even staff meetings. You can showcase that, and those things will demonstrate your school's commitment to academic standards as well as student engagement. One other thing I'll mention here is you could even offer guest blogging opportunities to the teachers and staff and give them the opportunity to contribute to your school's blog or your website by writing educational articles, sharing teaching strategies that will help parents, and that will position them as thought leaders and reinforces the academic standards that your school has. So those are some ideas there. Hope you find it helpful. But yes, one of the best ways to help eliminate or reduce that push and pull or get the buy-in of others in your school, especially the staff and the teachers, is to try to incorporate them into your overall digital marketing strategy. Another area here I want to talk about, how do we utilize technology to be more efficient and to offer good customer service, right? Because good customer service in schools can help build stronger ties with existing students and parents, as well as earn a reputation as a preferred educational institution that can last for years. And so some things to consider here. If you haven't tapped into any of these, I would encourage things like knowledge bases. Those are critical to get customer service, both for students to find information and for your staff members to learn the process. And so if you can consolidate information into a centralized knowledge base, you can ensure that there's consistency when it comes to your customer service and customer support. Adding things to your website like frequently asked questions. Here's a secret: not only will that help families and students coming to your website, but it can also help in your search engine optimization strategy as well, and when Google and Bing are trying to discover and explore your website for those search results that for those searches that people are conducting on their website. If you can make the investment, mobile apps can be very good for helping to increase engagement from grades to events. Apps can be a solution for that. Newsletters are really good for keeping all of your stakeholders informed of your student life and the community around that. It's so essential to be, or newsletters are so essential to help offer better customer service to all of your stakeholders. And newsletters can, help communicate that school spirit and that pride, as well as keep everyone in the loop as to the latest developments at the school. And so if you want to implement a newsletter, I would encourage you to consider things like MailChimp. MailChimp is an email solution provider that allows you to send those bulk emails. And if you're utilizing HubSpot, as we do, you can even utilize that software to send out your emails for your newsletters too. And then live chats are a good nod as well if you have the capacity to facilitate conversations. Last but not least, in this last section and on this area of balancing customer service with academic standards, want to talk about just collecting and acting upon feedback from parents and students. Online surveys can be really good. And here's the thing, the secret is you don't just want to collect this information, but you want to make sure that you act on it as well. When they give you feedback, you want to make sure you're making the improvements and addressing any concerns. You can utilize surveys, whether it's online surveys or even just listening on social media. You can take information from all of these bits and build that persona, that audience persona that we talked about at the top of the call. This is how you get the information and details about your prospective families and students, right? Online surveys, social media listening, every comment, everything that they post is an opportunity for you to learn something and adapt it to some part of your social media digital marketing strategy. Even things like social media polls, you might see that when you're on Instagram and people put polls in their stories. You can utilize that to ask questions like, what specific aspects of the school do people really appreciate? What's their preferred method of communication? What are their event preferences or other program enhancements that your school can make? You can analyze those poll results and then use the insights to tailor marketing strategies and improve engagement. And even things like going live on Facebook, on Instagram, are opportunities for you not to just generate content, but to address concerns that you different stakeholders might have in real time. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Those are the three areas that we wanted to cover, from reaching new prospective families, to balancing budget and time, to managing academic standards at the same time while we're trying to do that great customer service. I know I went through a lot in a quick amount of time, but just a reminder that the webinar recording will be on its way. You'll get it, the recording as well as the slides tomorrow in your email inbox. And one other thing I want to encourage you to do, if you have not done it already, we talk a lot about grades and evaluations in the education sector, but we have a tool. It's called the website grader, the LOCALiQ website grader. It's on our website, and you can go in and put in your school's website address, and it will give your website a grade and offer you an evaluation as to how your website is performing. And it looks at the website build, it looks at things like your SEO, your social presence, your Google business profiles, and other analytics. And so that's a really good report. You can go in, like I said, type in your website address and then review its results, and you can even use that to build your case for some of the initiatives and activities that you want to do with other people in your team. And I think that is it for this one. Let me cancel that. Yeah, so this is the website grader. It's just loading there if you can see it. Awesome. So now it's time for our Q&A. I'll give you a second. If you have questions, feel free to type your questions in the chat. And we've got 5 minutes left on our webinar, and I'm happy to answer some of the questions there. Meanwhile, let me get my slide back up here. Awesome. All right. So let's see, we've got a few questions that have come through, and thank you to all of my colleagues on the background who were answering some of the questions live as we were going through. And let's see, one question that came through is, what is responsive design? That was mentioned in the section about optimizing your website. Great question. Responsive design, that is optimizing your website for mobile devices to ensure that there is a seamless browsing experiences for users who are on smartphones and tablets. You want to ensure that your website is mobile responsive with all of its layouts, its images, and content that adapts to the different screen sizes. You want to think about your audiences, right? Most people are going to websites on mobile devices, especially the younger the audience. In a lot of cases, they're looking at it on their cell phone, whereas you have other individuals who probably, especially parents and grandparents, who are probably more comfortable with desktop computer devices. And so you want to make sure that your website can properly show across all devices. Where can I, so that's a great question. Thank you for that one. Here's another question. Where could I go to learn more about digital marketing or the area of marketing for professional development? Great question. We've got a lot of great resources, as you can see here on our website, from on-demand webinars, and I tried to call out a few that I thought would be very appropriate for this audience. You can go and watch those on demand. We have a LOCALiQ newsletter, and even our partner that I mentioned at the top of our call, AMCIS, the Association for Marketing Professionals in that Communications at Mission space, they have a podcast too, where they talk about everything about marketing in education. It's really good to listen to, and I think you can listen to it wherever you listen to your audio content, like Spotify or iTunes. And so I would encourage you to take a look at those resources. All right, let's see if we have any other questions coming through. Awesome. All right, I think we've covered all the questions. There were a few that were answered in the chat, so thanks to the team for answering those. And again, I really hope that everyone found this webinar helpful, and I hope that we really are able to offer you some relief in those challenges that we covered today, and at least help you think about how you can tackle them the digital marketing way. We're here if you need some help or you want some more support in that space. And as you exit today's webinar, you'll have an opportunity to provide us with some feedback on today's content, as well as if you'd like us to get in touch and let us know how we can help you, you have the opportunity as well. So on behalf of everyone here at LOCALiQ, thank you for spending part of your day with us, and we do hope that you'll join us for another webinar next time.